Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'll try and keep this one short because I want to get back and see who we get in the draw, but that's a massive win. I was really concerned. I don't want to say I was really concerned. I was slightly concerned when I saw the starting lineup, but I expected that many changes going into the game. And to be honest, looking at that starting lineup, I still expected to win the game tonight, but I appreciated that it was going to end up being quite a hard game. And my thoughts on the first half were, I thought we defended relatively well other than that one ball in behind, and I'll get to Maguire in the moment because I was a bit disappointed with Maguire tonight, but all round I thought we were okay. What disappointed me in that first half was the second row behind Weghorst. Garnacho, and again we'll get to him as well, I thought Garnacho was pretty much pocketed by Ben Johnson in that first half, so testament to him for his second half performance. Bruno was very sloppy on the ball and Anthony was just very ineffective completely. I thought the midfield too did alright. I thought McTominay played really well in terms of like getting on the ball and playing passes forward, and Sabitzer, I've said about Sabitzer enough times already, I've been really impressed with Sabitzer ever since he came in, and he almost scored a phenomenal goal to get the game started. That all come from McTominay into Weghorst and another player I'll get to shortly. Fed it to Sabitzer and it was a really good save from Areola, and if I feel sorry for any player tonight, it's Alphonse Areola, who I thought had a fantastic game for West Ham, other than I think he has to take some of the blame for Manchester United's equaliser. But like I say, I thought first half we looked all right. Obviously, the big chance coming from Michail Antonio, exposing Harry Maguire's lack of pace once again. A brilliant ball in behind. And I have to give credit to David De Gea once again. I thought De Gea was brilliant tonight. He made some really important saves. None more so than this one here. A one-on-one chance. I'm always critical of De Gea for sticking on his goal line and essentially making one-on-one chances too easy. But he was quick off his line. He closed down Antonio. Didn't seem too afraid to get hurt, which makes a change for De Gea. And he makes a really good save to keep it 0-0 going into the half-time break. Obviously, the substitution comes at half-time. Casemiro comes on for McTominay. I think that was a little harsh, but I think it was more due to the fact that McTominay picked up a yellow card more than sort of all-round tactical things. Maybe it was a bit because I felt that we weren't really getting the ball to the midfield quickly enough. McTominay wasn't really offering himself as much as you normally see from Casemiro and Fred. And Sabitzer was playing a little bit too far forward for my liking. So there wasn't much link up between defence and midfield. And like I say, once we got it into the midfield, I thought we did okay. But second half, Casemiro comes in and that link up is established immediately and we already look better on the ball. Then the goal comes and look, I've seen it from several different angles already. I think the ball's still in play. There's maybe like one angle where you might argue it's out of play, but at high level professional, whatever you want to call it, you know, it's the first thing you're taught as a kid is play to the whistle. And I think several, if not every single Manchester United player switched off on the goal. Ball breaks to Benrahma. Maguire, once again, too slow to get out. If that's Varane, if that's Martinez, no problem. That ball is blocked. Benrahma doesn't get his shot away. And it's a phenomenal goal from Said Benrahma, a player that I do like very much. I think he's a very talented player. And I don't think we see enough of him from a West Ham perspective. But that's a whole nother issue for them to sort out. But a great finish from Benrahma, 1-0 to West Ham. And worrying times. And Ten Hag makes the decision to take Anthony off for Rashford. I think the correct decision. And he also makes the decision to take Lindelof off for Martinez. And this was the one that surprised me because I thought tonight probably signals the end for Harry Maguire at Manchester United. And I would have taken him off instead of Lindelof. He'd already picked up a yellow card 25 minutes into the game, a bad tackle in behind Antonio. Obviously, Antonio again, we talked about that chance in the first half. And Maguire not getting out quick enough to Benrahma. He's not at the quality that the other centre-backs we have at the club are. And I was just, as I said, to me it signalled the end for Harry Maguire tonight. And I can imagine he will be leaving in the summer. But yeah, I expected a lot more from Maguire tonight. I was defending him quite heavily off the back of the Barcelona and the Newcastle games, hoping he would do well tonight. And it just didn't happen. But you have to trust the manager. You have to trust his decisions. He took Lindelof off. Martinez came on. And Rashford came on. And you could immediately see what a difference that made to the team. Bruno was getting on the ball more in the right-hand side of the pitch. Rashford was causing problems. Like we spoke about earlier, Garnacho was starting to get the better of Ben Johnson, and again, we'll get to Garnacho in the end, but the biggest change that making those two substitutions had was it allowed Weghorst to go back into the number 10 position. And I know Garnacho got man of the match, but for me, Wout Weghorst was man of the match tonight for Manchester United. I thought he was outstanding. Everything he did was so important to how well we played. He was absolutely everywhere. And we've spoken about how much he runs before, but more tonight, he was actually a lot more involved in build-up play, and especially in that second half when he dropped into that number 10. I was so impressed with how often he was getting on the ball, holding off defenders. I don't recall him missing a single pass. Some of his balls, like that weak foot pass all the way out to Garnacho on the left-hand side before Ben Johnson tackled him in the first half. The layoff to Sabitzer, some of his link-up play, the balls out to Bruno and through to Rashford, and layoffs to Casemiro, who nearly scored if it wasn't for another great save from Areola. I was so impressed by Weghorst, and by moving him into that number 10 position, that's where the chances started to come tonight, and it obviously ended up resulting in forcing a corner. Great corner comes in from Bruno Fernandes. The keeper's come for it. He's completely misjudged it. Weghorst almost got there, but he didn't get there. It happened to be Aguerd, and Aguerd heads it in to the back of his own net. And it's 1-1. And you can just feel the momentum shift at that moment. I should also say, before we equalised, David De Gea made another phenomenal save from Antonio. And again, De Gea kept us in this game tonight. I've been really impressed with him over the last couple of weeks. Although it did make me laugh that off the back of that second really good save, which he made with his left hand, by the way, he ended up stretching his left arm afterwards. So for those of you who like to laugh at me when I say that David De Gea never used his left hand, the first time he actually ever used it tonight, it ended up hurting him. So just bear that in mind the next time he chooses not to use that left arm, because as good of a save it was, it did make me laugh that he had to stretch it out afterwards. But like we say, the game goes on. I was getting a little bit worried that it was going to go towards extra time, but then the ball goes out wide, bobbles around a bit, comes out to Wout Weghorst. He has a go, it blocks, it drops to Garnacho, and then that first touch to push the ball away from Johnson, and then what a finish. Well, I'll say very reminiscent of Benrahma's earlier in the half, whipping it round the defender in the far corner, a 90th minute winner, and a big moment for the young man who's had a lot of stick from some fans over the last few weeks, undeservedly so. Like I say, I thought he was quite poor in the first half, but again, the manager stuck with him, obviously gave him some positive instructions and some motivation, because second half he came out with a lot more purpose, and a battle that Ben Johnson very comfortably won in the first half, Garnacho more than comfortably won in the second half, and eventually got the goal that he deserved to make it 2-1. West Ham push on, counter-attack, ball in, Weghorst doesn't quite get his moment once again. The ball drops to Fred, and Fred being Fred, side foots the ball straight down the middle, and Areola dives. Because why wouldn't you dive? Of course a player's going to finish it in one corner or the other. But not Fred. He just side foots it straight down the middle. And it's 3-1. As I predicted this morning, I should add as well. And Manchester United progress to the next round of the FA Cup, which I shall go and watch the draw imminently. So, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments about tonight's performance, whether or not you think Harry Maguire's position at Manchester United is now untetherable, and let me know who you thought was man of the match was. Was it David De Gea, was it Garnacho, or was it Wout Weghorst, as I thought it was? But yeah, let me know in the comments, drop a like on the video, share it with a friend, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll be back tomorrow morning for my fantasy football video. Thank you very much for watching.